Sup Shredders, my name is Logan, aka Spiderhands, and welcome to Nesp Reacts, where today we got ourselves a track from an act named Just Tha Realness, titled Rican Like Me. And if we switch over to here, we got ourselves a track on the screen on Spotify. Here is the art here on the screen, and we're gonna listen through it from start to finish, and we're gonna hear what we think. Let's do it, let's go. What have we got?
Gonna keep doing my thing until the apocalypse come. Everybody hypothesis done. They know I'm the one. Bring the crown back where I'm from. New York, yo, this ain't no drunk. Not trying to be modest. You act like I'm not one of the hottest. They come out of Queensbridge projects. Time for you to digest. Rap is step aside, cause I'm next. Before I put this knife right inside of your bicep. Been nice, this chronic, trying to blow up Skynet. You think that when I flex, I'm not showing kindness. That's cause you suffer from blindness. You don't think it's my time to check your Timex. Focus on your girl that's ready to climax. Bow to the king is what I expect. Don't see my crowd, better have your eyes checked. Headed to the top, just wait and see how I'm gonna take over this industry. Chilling with the underdogs, that's where I'll be. Cause you never gonna
love those strings there, they sound
just
beautiful.
like me. Headed to the top, just wait and see how I'm gonna take over this industry.
Great adjustment on the drums.
That's where I'll be. Cause you're never gonna find a Rican that's just like me. Fly, handsome, hard, intelligent. Don't wanna talk bullshit that's irrelevant. Never been fucked in the game cause I'm celibate. Wanna know why I'm the man?
Never been fucked in the game because I'm celibate, man.
For kingdom come just to bless this mic. Been a long time since you seen a Rican spit this tight. With these words I write, all these rappers say goodnight. Then I sit down, give my deposition. How I killed the competition. With these words written inside my composition. Back when I didn't have a pot to piss in. Moms don't listen, pops was missing. Had two brothers hate me cause I was their sibling. So I had to fend for myself. Even went to jail for defending myself. Took some time out, focus on my mental health. Had to figure out a plan to increase my wealth. And get my family straight. Keep my anatomy great, not make my sanity break. With this microphone, God has sealed my fate. I forsake anybody, put hate in my heart. Make a better life by using my art. Had to stop hustling inside those parts. Before I leave this world, I'ma make my mark. Headed to the top, just wait and see how I'm gonna take over this industry. Chilling with the underdogs, that's where I'll be. Cause you're never gonna find a Rican that's just like me. Headed to the top, just wait and see how I'm gonna take over this industry. Chilling with the underdogs, that's where I'll be. Cause you're never gonna find a Rican that's just like me. Fly, handsome, hard, intelligent. Don't wanna talk bullshit that's irrelevant. Never been fucked in the game cause I'm celibate. Wanna know why I'm the man cause I'm heaven sent.
And we're out. Fireworks at the end. Nice. It's an interesting track for sure. We're going to talk about it more though in the conclusion. Because welcome to the conclusion of my review of this track from an act named Just Tha Realness, titled Rican Like Me. In this section, we're going to provide an overall song analysis of everything from lyrics and vocals all the way through to studio production, as well as any applicable constructive critique, and then finally my general thoughts from a listener's perspective. But before we go any further, what do we think this track is about? I think this is more of a backstory of Just Tha Realness in terms of where they've come from, who they are. They discuss the troubles within their family. They discuss trying to sort of maintain their mental health there before their sanity breaks. They discuss being like put away for defending themselves. They've gone through some trials and tribulations. There's some interesting wordplay, like the part where we mentioned the celibate. No one is fucked me because he's celibate or something along those lines. The bars like that are great. You know, especially in a post-hook section there where you're paying careful attention because he goes dunna, 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 that kind of cadence there with the words, that kind of almost staccato feel to it. It's different to what you have with the smoothness of those strings in that main hook section, so you're paying further attention to it, and those words, those adjectives get stuck in your head. It's just nice to also have a bit of a kind of a sense of humor and flair with it as well. Bow to the king is what I expect. You know, there's like a good balance, I think, of humility and self-awareness in some of the parts where we discuss what we needed in order to do to become who we are, like our journey along the way. But there's also the kind of inordinate, you need to respect me because of who I am and what I'm accomplishing now, and you know, even though I've explained, you know, why I've been able to do this and what I've been through, you know, I'm at a level now where you need to sort of like show me some dues. Before I leave this world, I'm gonna make my mark. And so we discuss how we're continuing through our journey and trying to find a better future for ourselves, and we're kind of aware that it's not quite done yet. There's still more to do. So I like that we have the past, present, future kind of aesthetic to this track there. I think there's a lot covered within 2 minutes 43. I think part of what helps this track to work so neatly is the variety of different vocal rhythms and cadences that we have throughout this piece on the microphone, as well as just a really competent vocal performance from Just the Realness here. They're clearly very comfortable expressing themselves, crafting lyrics and bars and stanzas there that are impactful and that matter. We adjust the flow, the groove of it to suit what's going on with some of the string bass guitar and drum parts there, and the keys as well there. Although a lot of that is primarily more of an atmosphere and a ground floor for Just the Realness to do their thing on. Ultimately, it's the articulation, the clarity of how the words come through, the use of main and sort of double tracking as well to have emphasis on certain words as well, which I appreciate. And when those backing vocals or double tracks come in, they go around the stereo field as well, left and right sides of the headphones, and they just kind of go backward and forwards like that. It's very interesting. There's this kind of 90s aesthetic to a lot of this kind of like bars. There's like a 90s aesthetic to the style of performance that we have there, which kind of fills me with a sense of nostalgia somehow. I think with the kind of shuffle that we have with the drums and everything like that does suit that sort of general aesthetic. But yes, the lack of predictability within the verse sections, the variety of different emphases on certain words and lines there to keep things compelling, as well as just having the track short enough for the vocals to know to say they're welcome, regardless of whether repeat things one or twice. But yeah, no, we seem authentic with our performance, and it's nice to hear more stories about Just the Realness, a Rican Like Me. Outside of a really competent vocal performance, we have a track here where at 2 minutes 43, I think it's very well fleshed out there. There's a lot to appreciate. There's some interesting layers chosen instrumentally in a track with various verses, choruses, and post-choruses, as well as an outro section where we just get to enjoy the beat with some interesting machine gun and fireworks sounds there. Almost like the reality of the severity of the situation with the life and death approach, but also like a celebration of the fact that we've gotten to where we are with the fireworks. I like the fact that we're straight into it at the start there. We have the mixed recorded 8s and 16ths on the closed open hi-hats, the snares and the kicks there, and that acoustic kit there with a bit of filtering there, compression and such like that to kind of box it in and not be too confrontational with the vocals on top of it. You have this low piano chord there, immediately putting forward a root note that is further emphasized by the bass line underneath it there, and it's just so full of life immediately. It's very grave because of that low end resonance. And the minor triads that are played on the right side, on the right hand there, are kind of icy and cold sounding, almost like we're discussing some trials and tribulations again that we've gone through there. I think that contrasts really neatly with the warmth of the strings that we have in the hook there, the romanticism there that we have, as opposed to like a hot and cold thing, like a blessing and curse sort of thing. Going back to the drums there for a moment, I like that we explore the whole entire drum kit there. We don't just play kicks and snares and hi-hats or crashes. We also have some tom fills, and we have variations of the rhythm and representation of those kicks and snare patterns. We have on beats and syncopateds there. If you just have one main drum beat throughout an entire song with a fill, that's fine there, but it just, we explore further opportunities, and then it shows a sense of compositional sophistication and maturity on behalf of Just the Realness. I think especially with the tone of those strings as well, with the kind of warble and vibrato, such as around the 43-second mark there, it just sounds like people actually playing the strings there. I think having that sort of 70s or 80s aesthetic to it just is really lovely. It's got a kind of tender sound to it. It kind of makes it sort of sound like a day in the life sort of thing, so to a certain extent. But I think again, like, we become comfortable again with the bass line ruminating around the root notes, the keys, representing those sort of like triads or fifths on the right hand, and then the bass notes on the left. I think we also have some police sirens or something along those lines on one end of it, and it's just almost sort of like it shows the sort of danger or like the background noise to maybe the life that we're living. Or it could also be a pad, to be fair. But I think, yeah, again, the sound of the Glock and the machine guns at the end there was really slick. I like the way that those are represented. It's just nicely mixed as well and produced, and it's done the way which is rhythmic and suits the flow of what's presented beforehand there. The triplet flow of the machine gun as well was an interesting choice there. I think it's just nice to switch things up there and make it as much of an instrument as a sound. Yeah, great use of fills as transfers, and ultimately just really well, again, fleshed out. I think, bearing in mind the instruments and the way that they work together with the vocals in a way where there's an overall chemistry between the elements, Thematically, this is minor learning because I think we are sort of communicating that we've gone through some struggles there and we haven't always had a happy life. Even though we are experiencing some level of success now, we are letting people know that they need to be aware that they can't mess with us, that they can't step with us, that they need to make sure they got their glasses on so that they can see what Just the Realness is up to. And I think that it's less about an innate celebration of their current position as more a, I've gone through stuff and this is the real talk kind of thing. Because I think if you had a major key to this, without some of the extensions, you have to add a sense of nuance there and maybe soften it from being a bit too dark. It's more that it might sound a little bit disingenuous potentially with some of the heavy stuff we discussed. So I think that the chord choices that we had there were sensible. And I think that removing the harmonic devices at some point made it less colorful and more, again, like groove oriented there, which kind of was just a nice palette cleanser. And it was, again, less romanticized than otherwise might have been. So I think it's just good to have a more sort of, a less melodic, colorful aesthetic to it occasionally, just to sort of switch things up. Studio recording, mixing and mastering though, I think generally is quite well handled there. I like the texture of the vocals within the mix. I feel like they're quite present. The panning of them with the center, then going to the sides of the backing vocals was good. Nicely compressed and EQ'd there with a bit of reverb to suit some of the sounds of, again, the strings and the drums, which were nicely leveled, as well as the bass, and the keys sort of split nicely within the left and right sides of the cans. The music surrounded you in the headphones, and things were nicely niched within the frequency spectrum without there being any sort of weird resonant frequencies. The use of Foley was great too, and that was mixed in really well. The production generally was tight. There is dynamic range, you know, there's a difference between quiet and loudness, both from a composition and production perspective, and it's nice and loud, bit of pumping because of the kick, side chaining, bus compression, limiting is handled. No applicable constructive critique for me. This is just a really solid effort from Just the Realness, and from a final general listener's perspective, I just think I'm really happy to have heard so much about Just the Realness in the sense that I feel like we're very adept at going from topic to topic really smoothly. Sometimes someone can have you can have a specific verse about a part of our life and then another part. And sometimes you'll have people that will spend like a little bit of time on something that seems more severe and then they'll kind of gloss over elements that are more severe and like it'll just seem kind of weird or quirky how we put things together. But within this track, just, lyrically, thematically, it was all very well laid out and I appreciate that. And it made me want to listen to the story more. So I wish everyone involved all the best of luck in the future endeavors, because thank you for watching my review of this track from an act named Just the Realness, titled Rican Like Me. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, please go show them some love via their various social medias and their Spotify page, and stay cool and stay safe, and please remember to support your local musicians and artists at this point in time, as they need to help more than ever with all the crazy stuff going on in the world. And I will catch you in the next SB Reacts. Spiderhands out.